Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play another training game. Today I recorded the video on the classical Nimzo Indian, the Qc2 Nimzo Indian, and I have arranged a game in the classical Nimzo against a patron. I'm going to have the black pieces. Let me just challenge him. Meruzhan has asked to have white here in the Qc2 Nimzo. That's fine. His rating is lower than mine, but still I hope for a really interesting game. Okay, as you may know, I'm trying to get to 2100 lichess classical. We have agreed to play from the move Queen C2, so the opening moves are going to be played instantly. And now Queen C2. And there are 6 ways for black to play against the Queen C2 Nimzo. I can go castles, which is the main move. I can go c5, which is my favorite move. I don't want to go b6 or d6, which are too passive. Knight c6 is also a structure which I'm not familiar with. And d5 is the Noa Variation, the most dangerous way for black to play. I think that will be the most interesting game to see. So let's see what he does about the Noa Variation. There are 2 moves here, either a3 or cd5. cd5 is more common. After cd5, ed5. Now he should play bishop g5, and I'm going to go h6. If he doesn't play bishop g5, he should just be slightly worse, because I have knight e4. Or he should be a lot worse. Let's see what he does. The Noa Variation is something that should be really handled with care. Now, if he takes on f6, I have no problems. He should go bishop h4, and then I will go c5. If he takes on f6, queen f6, I still have the pin on the knight. The d5 pawn is not ampri. And I'm going to castle, and he is a long way away from that. Okay. c5, now dc5 is the move, g5, bishop g3, and then knight e4, e3 should be played. Basically the point is, I want to get my knight into e4, I want to get my bishop to f5, and I'm not afraid to sacrifice pawns. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything and blundering anything. So dc5, g5, bishop g3, knight e4, he should play e3, and then I play queen a5, he should then play knight e2, increasing control over the c3 square, and then bishop f5. And the point of the move bishop f5 and knight e4, I always have discoveries on this queen, on c2, but none of them are good. If you have seen the video on the classical Nimzo, which I've published today, then you will know that none of the discoveries really work. Okay, c5, dc5, g5, let's not waste time. Bishop g3, knight e4. e3, queen a5, knight e2. He could also play bishop takes b8. But bishop takes b8, bishop c3, bc3, well, okay. This without e3, I don't know, I have to admit. I don't know this move. e3 is the usual move here. Bishop e5 is played, but it's played after bishop f5. So what is the difference? The normal way to play this is e3, queen a5, knight e2, bishop f5, bishop e5. And after bishop e5, black castles. If black castles now, then is the bishop on e5 a good piece or not? I obviously have to save my rook. Now, the question is, Do I play the move f6? Because if f6, bishop b8, rook b8, I still have a lot of pressure there. And if f6, bishop d4, I can then play knight c6. And I don't think he wants to give up his dark squared bishop. Both castles and f6 seem fine. Bishop e5 is incorrect here. I have a very strong feeling about that. I cannot continue with queen a5. And if I just castle, he's probably going to play e3. If I play f6, he should take on b8. Now, f6 is a forcing move. But after f6, bishop b8, rook b8, e3, queen a5, knight e2, bishop f5, we should get a favorable position for me, a slight improvement on the previous variation, where none of the discoveries are as good for white because he doesn't have a dark squared bishop. Queen f6 is also a move that comes to mind in some positions. So that's why I'm not really that eager to play the move f6, because I then don't have the option of queen f6. I'm wasting a lot of time, but this move is not theoretical. Therefore, I believe it has to be a mistake. So castles. If I castle, his bishop is defending the knight, which usually isn't the case, so I really don't want the bishop defending the knight here. The problem with castles is he probably can play f3, and then knight takes, bishop takes. So if I play f6, does he play f3? f6, f3, f takes e5, f takes e4, and I would be threatening the move d4. d4 now doesn't work because my knight is hanging. So I'm wondering, f6, bishop b8, rook b8, f6, bishop d4, knight c6, f3. I think I'm going to go for f6. I like f6, although then I have problems on this diagonal. So f6, bishop here, knight here, f3 if my knight ever moves, queen here check. Is that dangerous? No, I have king f8. So okay, f6. Okay, bishop d4 as expected. I cannot leave the bishop here defending the knight, so I'm just going to play knight c6, a normal developing move. And if the bishop goes to e3, I think his position is strategically lost because there's no easy way to develop his king side. And if I take the bishop with something like e3, knight d4, e4, then queen a5 is a killer. Or bishop f5 is also. So I think he kind of misplayed the opening. Yeah, I obviously want to take here. So takes queen a5. But then I am defending his pawn. Maybe I didn't play this out that well. I always thought that taking the bishop is going to be good for me. But because now if I play queen a5, then knight e2, I don't know, maybe I should just take here now. Give up my bishop, double his pawns, and play on from there. Bishop f5 is interesting, but then bishop to d3. So maybe I want to play queen a5 first to provoke knight e2, and then bishop f5, because then bishop d3 is not a move he can consider, although he could play rook c1. But rook c1 I still get to double his pawns. So I'm just going to play queen a5 because that move comes with tempo. a3 is not possible here. I don't even have to do anything. I can just castle or play bishop f5 because he's not threatening to take. Rook takes queen takes a1. Yeah, and this Noa variation is really complicated. I have to say I wish we have entered the main line, that he had played e3, and I'm going to have to be very thorough in my analysis of this game because I seem to have gotten less than I wanted. Now, bishop f5. And I'm threatening a discovery on his queen. If he plays a3, I still don't have to move. And if bishop f5 something, like g3, knight takes, attacking the queen. Queen takes f5, and I should be much better. So I'm going to play bishop f5, that's a thematic move here. That's a move you always play in the Noa variation. Now the fact that he doesn't have bishop d3 is just horrendous for him. This is, by the way, this setup with bishop f5, queen a5 is very normal. The difference is that black has a way to disrupt that with bishop e5. And bishop e5 is a very useful move because it attacks the rook, forces black to castle, and it doesn't allow all this. So once again, he should have played the move e3 first to have a thematic position. This just doesn't work. Because after e3, queen a5, knight e2, the situation is very different. Now, giving up his dark squared bishop is just a bad idea. I'm not sure if this position is winning for me. Because white, of course, is a pawn up. I have sacrificed the pawn with c5. Black has 6 pawns, white has 7 pawns, but the point of the Noa variation is to try and checkmate, not to save pawns. Now, what am I threatening? I'm threatening knight takes c3. If if queen takes f5, then knight to b1 check should be well, king here is the only move. No, maybe not knight b1. Knight here. Queen takes. Oh, I can win the queen with knight g3 check. Yeah, I'm threatening knight takes c3, winning everything. And I don't see an easy way to react to this. So here you have it. I mean, the queen c2 Nimzo tested with the toughest variation, the Noa variation. In my tournament play, I'm not sure I will be employing that just as often. Okay, so now he is threatening to take my d5 pawn. So castling queenside comes to mind, but now this move queen b3 makes me think that he has an advantage. I don't like this. I didn't see this move at all. So castles queenside to defend d5 to get my pieces into play. If he castles queenside, I have the move knight f2, winning an exchange. If after knight takes f2, well, he could play f3 first. Castles queenside f3, that makes sense. I would then have to take here, and after pawn takes, I lose my bishop. So f3 is a threat which wins a piece. That's not nice. Well, not for the moment, because his rook is still pinned. So castles f3. Yeah, no, I'm stupid. a3 isn't the threat. bc is the threat attacking my bishop. So maybe bishop d7, but then he can just take. Well, I'm looking at this. Bishop d7, queen takes d5. Does he have a check? No. No, this is not a check. This is attacking the rook. And then, okay, so bishop d7, queen d5. Knight takes knight. He has to take. No, he has to take on b8. And then I can castle kingside if he takes on b8, and they still have the same threats. So my threat would there be... so bishop d7 is threatening bishop a4, basically winning the queen. So he would have to take there. And if he castles queenside after bishop d7, I'm just going to play knight f2. This is a tough position. I misplayed this and I don't know where. I know the common plans, but I obviously don't know the bad moves, and bishop e5 there was a bad move. So bishop d7, queen d5. I can then take knight takes c3. If queen takes b8, I have a discovered check and I don't have to react. If he takes on c3, then bishop takes c3 is check, winning the rook. So bishop d7 seems like the best option here. If he castles queenside, I'm going to play knight takes f2, winning an exchange. If he plays a3, I'm going to play bishop a4 anyway. Wait, bishop d7, a3. If I play bishop a4, he can take my bishop. And then if I take his queen, he takes my queen and I lose a piece. So bishop d7, a3, bishop takes c3, knight takes c3, bishop a4 then is a good move. Okay, I'm going to play that because I don't see a better option. I hope I didn't miss a crude move which loses everything. Because after queen d5, knight c3 threatens to win everything and also defends the e4 checking square, and my bishop defends the other two checking squares. So I think bishop a4 is hard to meet. I think that has to be the only response to queen b3. Once again, if a3, then bishop takes c3 check, followed by bishop a4. And then if he takes on on d5, that could be a problem. Because I no longer have a check, and I no longer have a defender of these two squares and this square. So a3, bishop takes. Well, what if I take with the knight first? a3, knight takes. Yeah. He plays the best move. Okay, I don't have to react to this. That much is clear. I don't have to react to this. If he takes, his rook is hanging. Still, if he castles, his f2 pawn is hanging. Can I castle queenside now? If I castle queenside and he takes on d5, I can then take on c3, and he doesn't have queen b7. If I castle queenside, he cannot castle queenside because of f2, although if I castle queenside and he castles queenside, my bishop is hanging. So then, if I castle queenside and he castles queenside, bishop c3, knight c3, knight f2. So, let's look at my plan with bishop a4 once again. If I take with the bishop, he takes with the pawn. Then I play queen a4. Then he plays queen d5. Then I take on c3, and he checks me. And I go here, and he checks me and wins the pawn, and wins my rook. If I'm not careful. Yeah, I don't like that. I want to castle queenside here. It seems much safer. Castles queenside, castles queenside. Bishop c3. Knight c3, knight f2. Castles queenside, castles queenside. Bishop c3, knight c3, knight f2. Seems good for me. So I'm just going to do that. I don't think bishop takes and bishop a4 was a good plan. Because he has queen d5 under very favorable circumstances. And again, I'm sort of okay with my position. I don't really understand it completely. I find it very complicated. And I usually don't like these super aggressive pawn sacrifices in my defenses. I much prefer being on the side who has the extra material and is defending. I missed queen takes bishop. Oh, I missed queen takes bishop. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, this is just... there's no better way to put it, but it's just dead lost. I completely missed that he takes my bishop with his queen. What am I thinking about? Yeah. Is there any way to swindle this? I don't think so. Because he has knight d5. And yeah, my position is just dead lost. Yeah, this is the problem. I start calculating complicated lines and then I just miss. I miss queen takes b4. Oh. If I move my queen, and I obviously want to decline the queen trade, he can still take on d5 with the knight attacking my queen, and then I would have to go queen c6. So this is just disgusting. Yeah, I don't know if it's dishonorable to play on here. I think it might be, because I'm just losing everything. I'm going to try to play on. I'm going to try to play on and swindle him. I'm sorry about this, Meruzhan, in advance, but queen a6, he moves the knight. I'm going to play queen e6. And try, I don't know what I'm trying to do. Yeah, but, well, I deserve this. I completely missed that he can just take my bishop with his queen. That's such a beginner's tactic that I just don't know what to say. Yeah, well, I deserved to lose my training game 2 days ago. This one, I think I was winning. But after queen b3, I wasn't sure. And yeah, you can see how risky the Noa variation is. You need to be careful. God, what was I thinking? How can I miss queen b4? That actually happened to me once before. The same type of tactic. The pawn was pinned and he couldn't take with the pawn, but he could just take with the piece. I don't remember if it was... It was definitely not a blitz game. I just don't know if it was a training game or a real game. I can't remember, but I've done this before and I need to make a note of this. Don't... Well, when a pawn is pinned, make sure your opponent cannot take with a piece. That sounds ridiculous, but I obviously need to make a note of that. Because this, I completely missed. I didn't even... It's I didn't even think about queen takes. And it's so obvious that if you put this on the board and I'm looking at the game, I'm going to see it in a second. Well, this was embarrassing, but yeah, that's the point of training games. And I find it much easier to share these blunders with you guys because it sort of gets everything out there. I'm not hiding my bad play. I like that. And it's, in my opinion, easier to cope with idiocy in chess if other people know about it. Because, well, I have a problem with people who don't show their weaknesses. I kind of think that's cowardly. Okay, this move I expected, and he is attacking my queen, he is attacking my pawn twice, I have to move here, and now my plan was once he takes with his knight here, I'm going to play bishop f5 and try to do nothing because I'm lost, but well, at least we are swindling on. Well, yeah, that's a good move. That's a good move. I figured I had knight c3, but I don't. Is there any way to get 3 pieces for the queen? Knight c3, bishop c6. No, nope. And is my queen trapped? I think it may be. Yeah, my queen is trapped. He's going to take on e5, attacking my queen, and then he's going to take my knight. Yeah, queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes, knight. I don't see anything better. I have to go for that. I just have to give up my queen. Yeah, this I should resign obviously, but I'm going to allow my opponent to play the game until the end. And you never know, he might make a horrible mistake and lose, but he should take on d5 now. That would have been an extra pawn for him. I have a knight versus the queen. That's not good. I'm just going to say sorry for playing gone. Just said that I blundered and I want to talk about that in the video, so that's why I'm playing gone. That's true. So I'm going to try to find some complications. My coach Mate always says if you are lost, look for complications, and sometimes it does work. It worked for my opponent in the last round of Split Open. I had -17 with black and missed a mate in 3 because he was complicating matters. Where does my knight go? Nowhere. I guess nowhere. This is the only square. And he should now just castle queenside and destroy me. He says it's okay, I want to play on 2. So good. Do I have any pawns for this? 6 pawn? No, I'm actually a pawn down. I'm a pawn down. And I have a queen for knight. I have a knight for queen. Yeah, that's a good move. How do I complicate this? Is there a way to complicate this? I doubt it. I'm just going to play my knight here. If I can take this pawn, then great. If I could get my knight to c6, that would be a nice blockade. And I also want to do this. If he defends. Yeah, although I should just resign. Yeah, well, I'm going to analyze the game after I resign, and I want to see what bishop e5 was about, because it's obvious that he knew the patterns in the opening, he knew the ideas. Bishop e5 is a move, but it's not a move there, and maybe I should have castled instead of f6. Yeah, he just defends. That's fairly logical. He's threatening queen f5. Yeah, I'm just going to resign. I don't have anything to do here. Good game. Good game. Yeah, so a blunder, but okay. Let's see. So we played theory for g5 is theory, bishop g3 is theory, knight e4 is theory. And now e3 is the main move, as I said. Somebody says in the chat, best move is a5, c6, c6 is crushing. Where is c6 crushing? I don't know. We'll try to figure that out. And bishop e5 here is a mistake. Castles, why didn't I play castles? f6, I guess, is not good. Oof. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Okay. Just castles. Okay, bishop d4. Knight c6, yeah, I missed castles. And now e3. And he is just much better. Wow, okay. So, yeah, from here on I'm just dead lost. Queen a5, knight e2, bishop f5, queen b3. Castles immediately. Castles immediately. Okay, bishop d7 I guess is just a mistake. a3, yeah, and I was looking at this, but I don't think it works. Because he has queen takes pawn, or yeah, just queen takes b7. But bishop e5 was, after castles, a mistake. And I should have played a move which I knew had to be played. Okay, e3, which is logical, doesn't work here. Bishop a3. Yeah, and I would have played queen a5 here again, because I'm an idiot. So here takes. And I didn't want to allow bishop takes. That's why I didn't castle. I just didn't want to allow that. So bishop e5 is interesting. I'm sorry for not mentioning that in the theoretical video. I just never saw that move. I can see now that it was played 3 times, and all 3 times black has castled. Great job, Meruzhan. I really congratulate you. This was a great game. Please let me know if bishop e5 was preparation. If it was, then that's an incredible move to prepare. I would like to point that out to everybody watching this. If you played the Nimzo with black, or if you play d4 and face the Nimzo, this move has to be factored in. After castles, apparently black is equal or slightly better. It's not even such a big mistake. And I played f6 because it seemed natural to get rid of the bishop. And even if I didn't blunder with queen a5 and allowing him to take my bishop, I'm still slightly worse. So Meruzhan, great job. Guys, I'm sorry for the blunder. I'm sorry for the bad game. Sometimes you just lose. And I'll try to play another training game today to get my rating back up. I don't know how much I lost. I am guessing tons of rating. If you would like to challenge me in an Nimzo training game, there's a link in the description. And thanks very much. Once again, sorry. Stay tuned for more chess. And once again, great job, Meruzhan. Bye.